Hey, so in this lesson, we're going to talk about ledger lines. Now, in previous lesson, you should have learned, or you should know by now, where all these notes are given that we have a treble clef. It works the same way for bass clef, but right now we're going to stay with treble clef, and I'll make another video on how to read bass clef notes as well. But as far as this particular lesson is concerned, you can actually extend to bass clef notes as well. So just know that this is an extension. All right, so we have a staff, again, the 5-line thing here, and we'll go with treble clef. All right, so second line from the bottom, circle up and down, right? And then we have these notes. So let's start from D, the lowest note that's attached to the staff here. D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. All right. So we have these notes. Now, what if I want to play or sing notes that are above G, this particular G, or below that D? Not to fear, here we go. So all you do is just extend this staff. We have 5 lines. The rules, play the same way. You go from line, space, and so forth. This D, notice how E is on this line, right? So therefore, since it's one step below, that's technically in a space. So if I want to go below that D, so that means I get to go to a C, right? Again, line, space, line, space. If this is on a space, well, the next note below that space note, D, should be a C, and it should have a line. So what we do is, rather than drawing a huge line all the way through, we just borrow a little segment. So draw that little line. Sorry, it's crooked. And you draw a line. I draw a note there. And it's a C. I know that it's a C because I only see one ledger line below the staff on a treble clef. And the note is on the line. Simple enough, right? If I want to draw a B below that C, same thing, same deal. I draw a ledger line, and then I get to place that note right below that line. Okay. Now, mind you, it'll be a whole lot easier for people to read, and keep things, keep track of things, if you try to make these ledger lines line up as much as possible. So if you're trying to draw a B, something like that wouldn't work all that well. But, I mean, there's only one line below the staff, and the note is below the ledger line, yes, but I'm telling you, it will make it a whole lot easier. Now, the next one, that's a B, so one below B would be on A, right? Well, that's on a space, so therefore A should be on a line. But here's the problem. If I draw it like this, I know that it's on the line, but I only see one ledger line below that staff. So how is this different than a C? Nothing, other than that it's located a little lower. And that is not a precise way of writing music or reading music. So therefore, you must include that ledger line to show that there are 2 ledger lines that's on the second ledger line below the staff. That is where that note is located. That's how I know that it's an A. Not because how far it's actually located away from the staff. Make sense? So if I were to continue on, G is here. F is here. And last one, let's go down to an E. Okay? So again, this space right there, that's D, right? C, B, A, G, F, down to an E. All right, easy enough. If I were to climb up, it works the same way. Same, theory behind it. So G is here on that space. If I were to go one above G, you simply draw a ledger line and place a note there. That's an A. I know that's an A because it's one above G, and I know I only see one ledger line. If I want to go to B, again, I have to draw one ledger line, and it needs to be above that note. If I want to go to a C above that above that B, two ledger lines. Okay, so you must understand that these ledger lines are simply an extension of that staff. All the rules apply the same way, and you can theoretically continue on as long as you want. Okay, and it will make it easier for people to read if you could try to line up these ledger lines as much as possible. And secondly, make sure you use correct numbers of ledger lines. So let's say if I'm doing this G, if I only have one ledger line here, I can't tell whether or not that's a G or a B or whatever the note that you're trying to say. So make sure you have correct numbers of ledger line, even if you are not writing any notes in them, just like these ledger lines here. Just because I don't have notes on these ledger lines, that doesn't mean they're not being helpful. So we need these ledger lines. All right?